ugly, but the kids stuck together, and there was no pointing fingers, there was no fighting, there was no blaming. You guys might not believe me, but I told the staff maybe Wednesday or Thursday that I bet this is going to, I called overtime, but I think and I'm sure everyone thought we should have blew them out. I get it. But that's a good football team, and we made plenty of mistakes to open the door for them to stay in the game and to put some pressure on us. But I thought a close game would test this football team more than a blowout would. And hopefully the bond is stronger now in that locker room moving forward. Sean Withy-Allen talked to our team about in 1999 the loss to USC, then they played Eastern Illinois, and I believe won in overtime or won a close game. And when he said that, I'm not saying we're as good as the 99 team or anything like that, but it was interesting he brought this up, and I said, that might be something we could use. I'd rather it not happen, but if it did happen, I'm glad we came out on the winning side of it. So,
Coach, how did it feel to get your first win as a head football coach?
Stressful. It was obviously it was, that's why we got on the bus to come here. It was a lot of things, a lot of drama, but there's something special in that new turf, and the rain came down, and it was there was a lot of feelings that came back that I remember about this stadium and these nights, and I hope the boys enjoy it because it was hard. It wasn't easy, and they got a win. What's up, boys?
The message after the first two games was to stay together and to keep fighting. Were you pleased how they did that through the length of this game?
Yeah, they didn't give up. Probably 3 times more mistakes than we can do and win consistently. Obviously, the turnovers, the punt return. We got one-play touchdowns, but they came back and they came back swinging. They got knocked down plenty of times. Plenty of times, each one of them got knocked down emotionally, and they found it within themselves to stand up and swing back. And that's all we can ask from these Warriors right now.
Coach, at one point you took Ikaika out of the game in the second quarter. Was he hurt, or was that decision to give him a break?
I don't know if he slipped, or I don't know if he slipped, but he kind of limped off, and I didn't really like how we were moving the ball. And at that point, then we made a switch with Drew. Nobody's playing good enough to not feel the heat right now.
Your decision to stick with him in the second half, when you look back on it, and it obviously paid off.
Well, we could probably look at the film, but we got to win. And that last touchdown throw to Marcus, that's a pretty vet throw. I mean, that concept's been run in this stadium a bunch of times. I think Colt hit it one time to Jason Rivers. And the situation, how that touchdown happened, it's almost hard to duplicate in practice. We talked about it, and I think he visualized it, Marcus visualized it, and it happened at a pretty critical time. So that's a positive. We can't throw these stupid interceptions, though. We're throwing it right to them. And, I think we had some decent production in the run game. What do we average? That's not on here. But if we're going to throw it to the other team, what? 175. I know, per carry. It's not on there. If we're going to throw it to the other team, then we're just going to hand the ball off because that's an easy way to lose. We better play better at quarterback.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Dave.
First half, it looked like these guys, the other team they looked like they were more ready to play. They were taking it to you guys, especially their offense.
Probably were. They won the toss and wanted to receive. It's a pretty good challenge for our defense. But, yeah, they deserve some credit. They came to play, and their coach does a nice job. I mean, he's been there 10 or 11 years, the D coordinator. He's made some adjustments from last year. You know, they can drop 8, but they can also get 6 men in the box and drop safeties down, and I think they know where they fit in the run game. So it's an interesting scheme, fairly unique, but they deserve some credit coming all the way out here and taking us to the wire.
What was the halftime message?
Well, we talked about, on offensive side, we talked about, well, I don't want to talk about what exactly we talked about, but it was a test. Guys, you going to give up, or you going to stand up and fight and play right now? And it was somber in there. It was. Because I don't think this team expects to win. Not yet. I think they hope to win. And hopefully this win pushes us closer to that expect to win mindset. Because that's contagious, and people can see that in our body language and how we play. If we get to an expect to win mindset, I guess that's the ultimate goal.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
As far as returns go, yours was nice, but the return of Gaylord Correa to the sidelines tonight was certainly one of the special things for the fans. How did that come about happening?
It was just, I'd never seen it in person. I'd only heard. And I think that's what Hawaii's about. Gaylord got the game ball. Gaylord got his jersey back. You know, we're not gonna. You know, he's got a job that he does on the west side, and he sacrificed to come help us tonight. I hope the crowd enjoyed it. He got the game ball. He teared up and gave the guys a speech. But that's what Hawaii's about. You know, at Michigan they had Michael Jordan as their honorary captain. We had Gaylord, and it was as special as anything over here. And I'm glad people enjoyed it.